In the video you will learn, what will Hogwarts Legacy be about? What do we know about the setting? What kind of partners will the main character have? What is known about the gameplay, interesting little things, technical details? What will Hogwarts Legacy be about? The game will tell a new story for Harry Potter. At the same time, the author of the book saga, Joanne Rowling, is not involved in the plot of Hogwarts Legacy. The game builds on the existing lore and expands it, so experts in the magical world will feel right at home. The game takes place at the end of the 19th century. The protagonist gets into a mysterious incident and barely survives. Then he realizes that he has magical powers, and receives an invitation to Hogwarts. The protagonist is about 15 years old, so he is enrolled immediately in the 5th year. At school, it turns out that the character is connected to some ancient magic. She is just interested in the goblin Ranrock, who is planning a new uprising. There is no mention of this event in the books. Little is known about Ranrock. He hates wizards and wants to take over the world, and for this you need to take possession of a special artifact. The dark magician Victor Rookwood and his henchmen help to get it. Fans of Harry Potter are familiar with this surname. A direct descendant of Victor named August Rookwood appeared in books and films. He was one of the Death Eaters. The protagonist will not deal with goblins alone. One of the Hogwarts teachers named Eleazar Fig will become his main assistant. The authors of the game mentioned that the professor was in conflict with the Ministry of Magic. He's investigating a goblin uprising, which doesn't sit well with the authorities. It seems that he will act as a mentor to the hero, someone like Albus Dumbledore. What do we know about the setting? In addition to Hogwarts, the hero will be able to explore at least the Forbidden Forest and the village of Hogsmeade. In it, it will be possible to partially change the appearance, buy new clothes and resources to create the necessary items. In story missions, we will certainly visit other famous places. So, in one of the videos, Gringotts Bank flashed. The action of the game will unfold over several months, so we will see Hogwarts at different times of the year. You can admire the beauties of the world right now. The official YouTube channel Hogwarts Legacy has released several atmospheric ASMR videos with school interiors and landscapes. What kind of partners will the main character have? According to the plot, the protagonist will make friends with several students. The world of Hogwarts will be allowed to explore in their company. 3 characters are already known: Hufflepuff student Poppy Sweeting, Gryffindor student Nats Iona and Slytherin Sebastian Sallow. These wizards will have their own storylines with unique tasks. For example, Sallow will be able to teach the protagonist forbidden spells for the sake of self-defense. Dark Magic even dedicated a separate trailer. The hero will be able to refuse the offer, but then it looks like he will have to fight Sallow. What is known about the gameplay? Customization. An adventure in Hogwarts Legacy begins with character creation in the editor. Here you cannot separately adjust, say, the size of the chin and the width of the nasal septum. You can only choose the color of the skin, eyes, and hair, as well as add freckles. And, of course, determine the gender and timbre of the voice. Fortunately, the developers have come up with several dozen options for the appearance of the hero, and the hairstyle, facial structure, and eyebrow shape can be changed separately. A male character will be allowed to have a female haircut, and vice versa. However, you cannot bother and give the protagonist a standard appearance from the trailers. For teen games worth playing with friends on the same screen, clothing can also be changed. The developers promised a ton of possibilities for customization and modestly noted that they showed only a small part. Is it possible to choose a faculty? The main character has the right to enter any faculty of Hogwarts. You will be allowed to choose him at the beginning of the game at the ceremony with the Sorting Hat. Each faculty will have a unique dormitory with its own musical theme. The entrance to the Slytherin common room is hidden behind the image of a snake on the wall, and the Ravenclaw dorm is decorated in a laconic academic style. The developers have released separate videos about the living room of each house, Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. The basic gameplay of Hogwarts Legacy is familiar to anyone who has played an action RPG. The castle and its surroundings are free to explore, and there are many collectibles hidden in the world. You will even have to solve riddles. If you get tired of following the story, turn to other students. One of them will probably have a task for you. Do not forget about pumping skills, for example, stealth. The base for the hero will be the famous rescue room. There you can grow the necessary plants, make potions, and even equip your cottage. Pets are allowed in the house. How to find them has not yet been told. A house elf will look after the order in the help room. The combat system of Hogwarts Legacy is based on spells. There will be more than 20 of them in the game, both combat and defensive. They are divided into several categories and are indicated by colors. For example, offensive spells are red and power spells are yellow. In combat, enemies will create multicolored shields. To break them, you need to use a spell of the same type. It will be possible to dodge enemy attacks. Just press the desired button when a glow appears above the hero's head. During the battle, the surrounding objects will help. For example, it will be possible to throw a barrel at the enemy. To inflict maximum damage on enemies, the developers advise experimenting with creating combos of several spells. In addition, they can be pumped using the talent system, but the authors did not talk about it in detail. Fight against multiple opponents. How nonlinear is the game? It is not yet known whether nonlinearity is well developed in Hogwarts Legacy and whether the game will receive different endings. But the developers have said several times that the hero can be led along the path of the Dark Wizard. In the very first gameplay trailer, the protagonist used the deadly spell Avada Kedavra. However, the game does not have a moral scale as in Mass Effect. The hero's fascination with dark magic may not affect the main story. There will be several answers in the game dialogues. You can even be rude to the interlocutor. Perhaps the nonlinearity will be limited to small consequences for relationships with secondary characters. Will you need to go to class? Apparently, yes. So, the hero will learn new fighting techniques in the lessons of spells and protection from the dark arts. Herbology and potions classes, in turn, are devoted to plants and useful potions. The developers have not yet spoken in detail about attending classes, but have hinted that they will be story-based. It will not work to skip. Interesting little things. When creating Hogwarts, the authors were inspired by books and films. Therefore, the game castle has the features of both versions. The developers promise that players will be able to get into almost any part of the school. We will not see the characters of the main saga. But the creators hinted that some students of the school will have familiar surnames. Fans have already noticed in one of the videos a student named Weasley. The ghosts of Hogwarts will appear in the game. Let's say Headless Nick and Peeves. There will be no Quidditch. However, we will be given the opportunity to race with other characters and explore the surroundings of Hogwarts on a broomstick. The player will meet sick animals. They can be sent for treatment to the cottage from the rescue room. The magic wand is not the only weapon. It will be possible to use at least a mandrake to stun opponents. There is a dueling club at Hogwarts. Drop by if you want to challenge another student to a practice fight. Technical details and system requirements. On PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, the game will have two graphics modes, quality and performance. In the first, it works in 4K resolution at 30 frames per second, in the second, at dynamic resolution, but at 60 FPS. The technical details of the action on the Xbox Series S are not yet known. The PlayStation 5 version will support all of the console's features. For example, advanced DualSense gamepad vibration and 3D sound.